I can see the layout of this page.
Oh yeah,
Him and the
right.
and
So he's actually like pulling your etheric imaging out of the medium and having it solidify all kinds of things about you, and some of it is actually very, personal. There's the scene with you and Sophia, right?
Yeah.
There's an award with your name on it, and it is for for an acknowledgement of service contributing to some recognition that the school had received.
Yeah.
So the award is for the school, not for you. But you have a little letter or something saying, "Oh, and thank you, by the way."
Yeah.
So you didn't get the award, right? So that kind of some of the imagery is very personal, but a certain amount of the imagery, of course, is about you, using the suit. He says, that give it to me. We know how to use it. We will use it for the protection of Sweden. Give it to me now. He says, you are just this worthless, he would, because you're trying to be nice, you say, do it. Be a good citizen. Serve your country. Serve your country like you have. You're a teacher. I understand. Now is your chance. Good job. Give it to me.
My answer to that, are we still in the phases, or do I?
Yes, we are. Yeah, that strike at you was on phase 2. So now we are on 3, which is yours.
Yeah. I actually what that kind of strike, I guess that like the solid and all those defense that I have on that side doesn't work for that.
Well,
so
okay.
I basically what I'm trying to de-escalate this conflict, and I'm going really. I'm trying this approach. So I'm telling him, the Sweden that you want me to protect is no more. The Sweden that you are talking about, who you are referring to, the thing that you've been there very long. So if the reason you want this suit is to protect Sweden, that Sweden does not exist. But I can help you to get out of here and to get back to where I come from. But then I need my suit. No.
Right.
Sorry, the suit needs me.
I was going to say, yeah.
The response that he has to this, he says, I have seen it. Sweden has failed. It has gone soft. He says, I see, he's seen parts of your life, and he says, look at who they're letting in, and look at what you have done. You have not, you have this left has taken everything, giving everything away to anyone, rolling over for anyone. And he even snarls and says, I've seen it from here. I can see it in you. You're a man of it, no man at all. And he even uses the worst word he hates, worse than anything in the world. The focus of his entire disgust for everything, lagom. And he spits.
Lagom?
Yeah.
Lagom. Yes, yeah. And I'm doing the yes, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just, you're right.
But So since
right, but still, so I'm avoiding that. So I'm avoiding that and saying, but you're right. That's the Sweden that you're talking about. But you prefer staying here?
he kind of grins a little bit and he says,
Yes.
he's like, well, the enemy is still winning. Yes. And he's looking at you. He's saying, he says, I'll say one thing. There's one thing about that suit that fits you perfectly.
And what's that?
Oh, he's talking about the logo.
Yeah, you mean the USSR?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, that's strange.
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually know anything about that.
That's right.
Uh-huh. But what? Can I ask you a question? I'm just like being this, going into he's my potential student now, and I'm trying to know him more of that. Like, what happened in the late '60s that made you end up here, and why is this connected to the suit? It really interests me. He has his like helmet up on attack mode. I've taken off my my helmet. I have it under my like this, and I'm being really non-violent in my communication.
Excellent. Now you do have an action of this is dialogue. So what you are doing in phase 3 is called holding your action. Okay?
Yeah.
So just keep that in mind. Holding your action.
Yeah.
It means you have an action floating there.
Yeah.
Your turn.
Do you want me to say what that is, or?
I beg your pardon?
Do you want me to say what my whole...
No, kind of it is generic. It is generic. Okay. You are not committed to a specific triggered action. Instead, you are simply have a floating action that you can use when something comes in at you. Okay? So now, and currently you are still in this kind of weakened state. You cannot move away from where you are.
No.
Right? I just want you to know that. So he is going to try again with this image-based attack, and he says, show me everything. Oh man.
Can I defend myself up to this, or?
Well, he's rolling against your ego. Your ego is already folded into the attack roll. For the second time,
his ego is still low, or
that's
is
correct. Yeah, he needs to take recoveries for it to come back. And given the trouble is you have kicked off his irrational psychological limitation.
Yeah.
And so that means he's not making good decisions about what attack to use.
Yeah.
Right? That's why he's attacking with an ego, which at the moment is just 6.
Yeah.
Right? That's why he has a terrible roll. And so fortunately, his craziness is helping to protect you. And so, therefore, he's striking again with these images. But now this, just to let you know, this is a lethal attack. This will do body damage to you if I could ever get the goddamn roll to, actually connect. Because you're there like helpless. You're like trapped against the wall.
Yeah.
Right? And he's like barraging you with this ego-based attack, and it's just not getting through. Right? So, and I'm going to say that you realize that you actually have. I mean, this guy is kind of terrifying, and you actually have the ego, your own ego, is actually strong enough to resist this.
Is there any aspect of the attacks being interesting to me?
Well, yes, that's actually a very good point. These attacks are image-based. You are getting images. It's intimate. There are images of your life flashing around and images of his life flashing around. You actually saw that before. Remember, you saw him undergoing the treatments right? With the hypodermics and things like that.
Yeah.
And those were his own life. You are seeing now images of his own life, including his destruction of a person wearing a suit much like yours, right? But the suit was destroyed. So this was actually a battle out there in the cosmos where he was able to actually put a combat knife through someone out there in the ether, and that person shredded apart, right? With the helmet tumbling away through space to be lost forever.
Okay.
So yes, this guy has been assassinating cosmonauts.
That's really. I think I'm really showing that I'm frightened.
Right. Oh yeah. Yeah. Now that you're seeing this is evident in the imagery, the special effects of his attack.
It's a very strange breed of Swedes, because I think is not lagom, and most of us are. I would say.
Well, yes, that's correct. But on the other hand, I don't think your character has ever encountered a true Cold Warrior before.
No.
Right. In fact, make one intelligence roll for free. No time necessary.
For free. Yeah, it's actually a fail, I think.
What did you roll?
No, it's not. It's 12.
Okay.
And I have 13.
Yes. Well, you are smart enough to realize, looking around at the documentations and things around. Are you familiar with Tiabia Conteret? It is the predecessor agency for SOG, right? Which is the espionage agency for Sweden today, and some kind of a special ops espionage, and and its predecessor in the 70s was full of criminal scandals. Conteret. And this is precisely the era that he comes from.
T-kontoret.
Yeah.
All right, this is so.
Yeah.
So this is IB-affären connected.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. In other words, you are looking at the equivalent in America at Black Ops CIA from the early 70s.
Yeah.
Right.
And that way out.
So some of the nastiest people you can imagine. Yeah.
I can see, and these are. I think the what I know from these people is that they were really operating on their totally.
Absolutely, yeah.
Oh, they had nothing to do with the Social Democrats or whatever.
Right.
Yeah. That's a creepy person. So what he did that attack again, and he failed.
Correct. That was on 4.
So what I saw was, I just repeated. So what I saw was he was actually murdering. What I still don't really get is how this strange dimension fits together with the current version of my suit. So, and I'm still very much the enemy to him. But my main focus now is shifting. My character now realizes is that this does not seem to work. I cannot pet him or pat him on the shoulder.
Not happening today.
I'm not calming him down. So I need to understand how to escape this.
Mm-hmm. That's your character's thought balloon again. His new thought balloon. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's my thought. Okay.
Excellent.
The soft lagom talk did not work. And my only option here, the only thing that that you have told me so far is the window covered by the strange cloth. And so depending on what phase we are in and what I can do, are we on 3 or 5?
Well, we are actually on 4 because that's when his second attack hit. But You but you have a held action. So if you want to act on 4, you can, and then you will get your normal action on 5.
Yeah.
That's perfectly okay.
And now
so you have a
to
1-2 available. This is one thing your character has over him is your speed.
Yeah.
Right?